Now let's go to analyze some characteristics of the distribution channel, again without being too much specific, because I mean this is not the marketing part, but just something that you have to know in order then to get the characteristic of SAP in dealing with order fulfillment process and demand fulfillment activities. First of all, what is the distribution channel of a company? I mean, distribution channel is, I mean, the stuff with what salespeople work with. So, I mean, is what is the physical aspect of sales through which I mean salespeople are able to reach the market, and in particular, by definition, we can say that the distribution channel is the number of organizations that contribute to make the product service available for the final customer. It's interesting to analyze distribution channel because you see that different type of flows can pass through a distribution channel, which is not only the product of the service, which is the physical flow, but also the ownership of the goods of service is passing through the distribution channel, as well as possible promotion or information exchange between the customer and the supplier, and also of course physical cash, so money between the parties. When we talk about distribution channel, we need to talk about intermediaries. Intermediaries are usually companies that or person that stands between the manufacturing companies, so the companies that manufacture the goods or service that needs to be brought to the market, and the final customer. There are different type of intermediaries. Just, I mean, let's give a brief definition of the different ones. On one side, we have what we call original equipment manufacturer. Original equipment manufacturer buy finished goods to market, buy finished goods to other companies and make them part of their products. So, for example, Canon makes printer. For example, printer, I mean, are not made by Canon, but are just made by other manufacturers, and Canon just put labels or just put some refining on them, or just some assembly activities, but doesn't manufacture anything. This is an original equipment manufacturer, so just realize the final product according to something which has been already realized by other type of supplier, which is quite different from what we call value-adding reseller, which instead, again, buy and resell products with any production activities, but giving additional services. So they just take product realized by other companies, they don't do any manufacturing activities, neither assembly, but they buy it by adding additional services. Think about, for example, the ICT company. There are some ICT company that take laptops, that take printers, that takes whatever, and they install in your office, in your house, in where you want, by giving you installation warranty software services. They are value-adding reseller. They don't manufacture any product, but they just resell to you by adding value with an additional services, which is something different from the wholesaler, which instead, I mean, buy and resell product with any production or production activities, but I mean, which are not intended to be for direct or personal consumption. For example, here I cite MIS404-05.2-Bergen, I mean, which is a company based in Pennsylvania, is a drug wholesale company that was formed by the merger of Bergen, Brunswick, and American Source in some years ago, so in 2001, and they provide drug distribution and related services, I mean, designed to reduce costs and improve patient outcomes. So they directly distribute some type of drugs, some healthcare products, some healthcare supply and equipment to a variety of healthcare providers in Pennsylvania. So they take this product and this equipment from manufacturer, and they resell it to local healthcare providers. without, adding anything. They are just wholesalers. So they take product and they give to other company to then be used in their services, which is quite different from a retailer, because retailer instead is selling or renting product or services to consumer for their own or personal consumption. So they take product which are then sold for personal consumption or own consumption of final customer. Walmart is an example of this. So Walmart take product from different companies and resell for all personal consumption for the customer. Then we have agent. Agents are simply commercial intermediaries. They come directly to you, to the customer, and try to sell some product. For example, think about insurance agent. Insurance agent try to understand your needs and promote or give you some hints about which type of insurance you can stipulate, but the product is not, the insurance is not of the agent, but is of the insurance company. So they working for third-party companies, and they usually take some fee on the sale that they make. Then we have what we call auxiliary. Auxiliary instead are companies that offer complementary and support services to the distribution channel. Think about, for example, logistic provider. In order to be able to deliver the product to the final market, you need logistic services. And logistic providers are example of auxiliary intermediaries. If you want to have an example of how the different facets that can characterize a distribution channel, you can take for example Carrefour. Carrefour is the first wholesale company, and is the first wholesale company in Europe, and the second in the world. And in order to reach the final market, it has different type of retail points. It has small and local market, which are called Carrefour market, which are smaller stores where people can go and very fastly buy some stuff. Then it has bigger supermarkets like Carrefour, which are named Carrefour, which are instead bigger. The idea you have, like the Walmart, it's like Walmart style. These are the Carrefour supermarket, where instead they have also hypermarket. Hypermarket are market which are included in a broader mall, which has a Carrefour brand on it. So there are in Italy, but also in Europe, there are a lot of Carrefour mall where you can go there and just make you just go groceries, but also other type of shops that you can look for during your visit. And finally, they have also cash and carry retail points, like what they call gross hyper retail store. Speaking about instead the characteristic of a distribution channel, so we have saw the intermediaries, but we need to talk about also what we call the length of the distribution channel, because according to the number of the intermediary that stands between the manufacturing company and the customer, the marketing distribution channel can be defined as direct, short, or long. This is the difference. The direct distribution channel, doesn't see any intermediaries between the producer and the customer or the consumer, so a zero-level distribution channel. Dell, for example, used this approach because it's assembly and send computers directly to the customer without any intermediary between producer and the customer, which is quite different, for example, from the one-level distribution channel where just a unique type of intermediary is present. In this case, it is a retailer. This is the case, for example, of Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay realizes product, so like chips, for example, and send them directly to retailers such as Walmart to be sold to the final market. So any other intermediary is present between the producer and the customer. Then We have instead the long channel, like for example a two-level intermediary channel, while instead there are two or more intermediaries between the producer and the final market. The example is Home Depot. Home Depot realize product for home, for office, and so on, and then pass through general wholesalers and retailers before going to the final customers. Of course, be aware that the higher the length of the channel, the higher the cost and the price also for the final customer, and of course the lower is the contact, the direct contact that the manufacturer has with the final client. And also be aware of the fact that even though we know this, intermediation is often an obliged choice because I mean, there are no economic and physical resources to distribute directly to the final market because, for example, I mean, the final market is requiring a variety that is not available within a single manufacturer distribution center, but also because intermediary can do transport optimization by combining goods and services coming from different sources that the single company can do. An example of this is RS Components. RS Components is, I mean, the worldwide leader in the distribution of electric, electronic, and mechanic products for different type of activities. And I mean, it doesn't sell through direct channel. Is in contact with this client through fax, through web, through e-commerce, and so on. But I mean, it doesn't sell directly to the customer. I mean, they just order the product they just order the product I mean through this channel, and then they need to take this product in point of sales or a retail store or stuff like this, because I mean they need to, RS Components need to rely on intermediaries in order to deliver and to reach the final customers. Please be aware that today company of course use what we call the multi-channel marketing and new multi-channel distribution strategy, meaning that simultaneous type of channel and of different nature are used because I mean the number of customer is increasing. I mean, of course, we need to differentiate the way company reach the final market, but please be aware of the fact that when you open more channel, I mean, you have distribution investment because channel have cost, and of course, please be aware that when you open a new channel, you should manage the relationship that you have with the intermediaries that you have on traditional channel. So through a multi-channel strategy, however, companies can sell different products, different brands at different prices. So they can make some discrimination according to their customer base, and I mean, making segmentation, using segmentation approach, they can use they can target different product at different price to different type of customer. In particular, I mean, today multi-channel strategy refers to I mean the even more intensive usage of online channel, which has I mean essentially a limited assortment, which means that you can find almost anything online. I mean, you don't touch, you don't feel the item, and I mean to be reliable, this channel need to verify if the items are present in stock. Through online channel, you can give customer whatever information that they want to look for. It's up to him to decide. I mean, which is they need. They can make comparison, and they can also pay online, and they can shop 24/7. So they are good today, a good option. Most of the companies have an e-commerce or an online channel, but what I want I mean, what I'm usually, it's funny to to recall this is that even if today online strategy is so diffused, so it seems so normal. I mean, I remember, because I was young at that age, that the first company that launched an e-commerce website in 2001 was Nike. Nike, I mean, today this is the Nike e-commerce site today, but Nike was giving you the possibility to customize your shoes, football shoes or running shoes or sports shoes, with colors, labels, and slogan that did not exist in the retail store. That was the value adding. So Nike, through their stores, give the customer the possibility to customize shoes, and was pushing the usage of this channel by giving you this possibility, because otherwise in the retail store this wouldn't be possible.